Welcome dear viewer, this is Derpy, and this video is going to be covering an item that was introduced in the DLC of Bloodborne. Now I know I'm already late to the party, but while this Return to Yharnam event was going on, I got the DLC for the very first time and I played through, and I found this item, the delayed Molotov. And I have to say that this is probably one of my most favorite things introduced in the DLC so far. I haven't tried all the weapons, but I am loving this beast cutter. But this Molotov, I feel like not many people show it off, or probably have not even talked about it. But if they have, you know, just let me know if there's a video covering it already. But maybe this will help you in some other tips and stuff in PvP. So first off, the main thing about the delayed Molotov, if you haven't used it, you'll see in the video, but basically you throw it down near you and it ticks for about 2 to 3 seconds and then it detonates. Now the regular version doesn't have an arc to it, you kind of just throw it on the ground in front of you, and the rope one you just throw it behind you, so it's very short range, but it's always near you. Now you can use it for area denial. That can kind of go without saying. The actual throw time is not long at all. But I mainly use it for another purpose, which is why I decided to make this video. And if you don't know about it, then maybe you'll learn about it now, or maybe you already know about it. But basically, what I use it for, and I think one of its most advantageous perks, is that you can combo it. You can basically get a confirmed 2-hit combo. I don't know about the lighter weapons, but I know like the heavy weapons, like the ones I'm using right now, like the Amygdalin arm and the beast cutter, they cause a little more stagger than say a scythe or something like that. So essentially what I do is I throw the Molotov on the ground, and the opponent dashes in, I start at my R1, and I try to time it just before the actual Molotov detonates. So my R1 will land, they're staggered, the explosion will happen from the Molotov, and they're staggered again. And while they're staggered, I'm already going to hit them with my second R1, and then it hits. Basically making it a 2 or 3-hit combo, if you account the Molotov. Now I don't know how viable this is in say a 1v1 or a duel, but in an invasion where the host and his friends are very aggressive and try and just close in on you, I consider this a pretty viable option, especially if you're using a heavier weapon like say like a Ludwig Holy Blade, or say the Kirk Hammer. I don't know how. Now I only tested this with the beast cutter and the Amygdalin arm, and that's like most of the time, if like the latency and lag was relatively low, I could reliably land the actual combo. But I don't know about like the slower weapons like the Kirk Hammer or something like that. That might not actually be able to chain, but who knows. So basically in essence, this is just going to be covering some examples and show you that this does have some options and stuff, and you can experiment with this. I'm sure you can find out all sorts of things about this. I'm sure do some tricky things with it. You could also throw it in front of you and then charge an R2, like fully charged R2, and then they could get hit with the Molotov and they're stunned long enough for you to land the charged R2, and you can do that too. I don't have any examples of that. I basically just threw all this together just to like let people know, basically, just to let them know and experiment a little bit. And I know it's like I don't even know how many years late I am to the party, but just to let people know about this. Another advantage that the delayed Molotov has is kind of the element of surprise, because not many people that I've fought so far have used it at all, and most co-opers will usually just go on top of it not even knowing what happens, and then they're comboed. Now after the first combo, they're a little more like perceptive. They're like, okay, this guy has this, which is bad because it does a lot of damage. So I'm gonna be a little more careful about it. But these are PvE co-opers. Once your health is like more than like halfway done, they get that bloodlust in their eyes and they start wailing on you. So it's a good turn and burn too, especially with the rope delayed Molotovs. I would honestly advise using the rope Molotovs just because it's a little more discreet than the regular ones, because the regular one you kind of just like, you look at the ground, your hand does a funny motion, it throws it on the ground, it's like really bright when it ticks. So I would advise you to do the rope one instead, because it's a little more discreet. You kind of just do like a backhand motion, you throw it on the ground, and that's how I usually catch people most of the time. I don't use the front one or the regular one, sorry. The regular one too often, because, you know, some people just stay away versus the other one where they just kind of like run towards you. So is this viable against, say, like an experienced player, some hot shot? Maybe not. I would honestly say that this tech, I guess, kind of depends on the weapon itself. Like, I'm using the beast cutter, which covers a lot of range, and most people, if they fight the beast cutter, they'll usually dash into me, or they'll dodge to their left for some reason. When they dodge into me, and if I already have the Molotov down, then I'm already going for the second R1, because I have hyper armor, and they don't get hit by the Molotov, they're going to get hit by my second R1. So I would say it really depends on your weapon, but if you're going to be using a heavy weapon, I would advise at least, you know, trying this out, see what you can do. Maybe you can pull off some fancy stuff, like throw it on the ground, and then they dash into you, you parry, you get an R1, the Molotov explodes, and then you get the riposte or something like that. I don't know. I've never done it, I've never seen it, but if you do it, shoo, please let me know, because I want to see if that works. That would be pretty awesome if someone pulls that off. But, you know, this is just to bring light to a kind of overlooked weapon, I feel, that not many people talked about. Like, even when the DLC first came out, and I saw like a couple videos for, you know, first players going through, they're just kind of like, oh, okay, and then they just like pick it up, put it in their inventory, never to see it again. So this does have a use, guys. This does have a use, especially for the heavy users out there that like to use those heavier weapons. So now it should be said that this combo is very reliant on your inputs and how fast you are. So I would definitely advise you to do it as quick as you can. Do not hesitate for a moment if you think you can do it and if you're safe, because if you're even like a second off, the Molotov stagger is going to wear off and they're going to dash out of your second R1. So you want to make sure that your attack is already queued as soon as you can. There is a little leeway. Some people honestly just spam R1, and they, you know, I don't know why opponents do this in the game, but especially in this game, they even do it in Dark Souls 3, but they just keep spamming, man. They just press that R1 button even when they're like dying, and I don't understand why, but yeah, it's whatever. You can just use the combo and just spam R1 if you already know they're gonna be spamming R1. And I think that this is a pretty cool item, and I wish that it was in Dark Souls 3, because it could have had the same type of potential that it has in Bloodborne, but unfortunately it didn't make it. You know, honestly, we have the repeating crossbow, and it could have been tied to Gale or something, like a delayed firebomb, but you know, it's whatever. That's another good thing that Bloodborne has to add on its tally against Dark Souls, I guess. It's just uniqueness and mechanical stuff. So with this being said, I hope that you enjoy using this out there, and let me know if this works for you. You know, if it doesn't, then oh well, I guess. But I really hope to add to Invaders' arsenal, basically, you know, and help them, especially the heavy users out there, and make this a little more fun, I guess, to be doing all these crazy niche things with these weapons and stuff, because it's hard to sometimes with some of these weapons to get pseudo combos. But hopefully it will help you out there. Even light weapon users out there can find some use in this, or maybe you can use it with some arcane tools too. Make the bomb explode, and then they're staggered long enough for, say, like a tiny nitrous or something crazy, I don't know. So I hope I see some crazy things out there. I probably won't, because it's kind of dying down, but you know, it's whatever. So you know, I'm just gonna leave this last clip. GG to this fellow as well, by the way. It was a pretty fun fight, even though I lost pretty bad. But anyway, this is mainly just for fun, not really for viability use, but you know, for this, like for me, I just want to have fun. I don't care about viability too much. Of course, I don't want to be doing no wet noodle damage or something, but I like to have fun doing all these crazy combos too. So maybe this will help you out. Anyway, I hope you have a nice day. This has been Derpy. I'll see you guys later.